Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily short story. Now, before I start today's story, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this short story and any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers and at your local bookstore and local library if you requested, and you can order paperback copies from Amazon. Now, here's today's short story. I hope you enjoyed just as much as I did writing it.
Struggles amongst lost. After living for so long, I find it extremely hard to remember when I was actually born. Before I remember running messages across the front lines on my motorbike during the Great War, so it was definitely before then. Then I was alive in World War II, and I am still now. So needless to say, I know lost. I have no family still alive, no friends from my childhood, and during those 2 wars alone I had lost more people than I ever thought possible. Sure, it was damn right impossible to deal with some deaths. Like the death of my family when the Nazis bombed our family home, deaths like the murder of my first ever proper boyfriend and girlfriend, and the list just goes on and on and on. Death is just a part of life. And of course that might sound extremely harsh, but after you've lived for over a century or more, you learn ways to help yourself through the inevitably harsh times when someone you loved dies. You see, I can live forever, at least biologically speaking, because my name is Matilda Plum, a superhero in the counseling, therapy and psychology sector. Meaning it is my job and utter passion to help people solve their difficulties, improve their lives and maintain their mental health. And death comes in a lot in my psychology practice in Canterbury, England. Most of the time when it comes to death, I tend to see people who are in deep down depression because of someone they love died. But not always. I sometimes have the amazingly fun job of traveling up to some of the UK's most secure prisons and talking to psychopaths, serial killers, and other foul people, thanks to my superhero friends in the prison, justice and policing sector. As I sat in my favorite hard wooden chair in my therapist room with its large white walls with tasteful color art hanging on them, none of that modern art crap was allowed, and my wide range of chairs for people to enjoy, I was starting to look forward to my next appointment. The really interesting thing about this particular appointment was she had specifically requested the smell of lavender, grapefruit and passion fruit to be in the office for when she came in. Now I became a superhero funny enough on the day Hitler invaded Poland, so I have been helping people with their mental health for over 80 years, bloody hell, and I have never had a request like that. Miss Plum? Someone said, knocking on the door. As much as I wanted to wait the extra 5 minutes until the woman's appointment actually began, so I could enjoy the amazing smell and the taste of passion fruit cheesecake it left on my tongue, I decided that I better help her as soon as possible. I went to the door and welcomed in the client, explained how the therapy would work and the other legal things I needed to cover. But this woman seemed to already know it all. It's not necessarily that strange, but if this woman had been in therapy before, then it was perfectly natural for her to know this. But my spidey sense was telling me it was something else. The woman was rather attractive in a way, and I really liked her long blonde hair, well-fitting and suggestive purple dress and her purple high heels. She looked great, but she didn't look like she was here for a therapy session. As I watched her tit-ass about trying to choose a seat, I mean, I have a wide range of different chairs to choose from, but it isn't an exam. Just choose one, I kept seeing her flick back at me. Almost like she wanted to know exactly where I was the entire time. Is everything okay? I asked. She smiled as she pulled over a large blue beanbag and sat on it. I did the same out of politeness, more than anything else. Once we were both sitting down and comfortable, I was about to tap into my analysis superpower, when I felt her trying to do the same to me. This woman was a superhero, or something. But then why would this woman be trying to analyze me? This wasn't normal, right or fair in the slightest. Enough, I said calmly into her mind. She frowned. Who are you? I asked. Eris Jr., she said. My eyes widened. That meant she was the daughter of the Greek god of mischief and chaos. What the hell was she doing here? I felt myself sink into the beanbag, and my hands and feet became trapped inside. I couldn't move. What do you know about the rogue god? She asked. I just shook my head. Me and my friends had been dealing with a rogue god that was commanding people to hurt themselves and completely abusing the powers given to us, but I still had no idea what was going on. My boss, Natalia, was meant to be investigating since she was a goddess herself, but I hadn't heard anything for ages. So it was slightly beyond strange that Eris Jr. was asking. Why you want to know? I asked. Eris Jr. grinned at me. I sank further into the beanbag. Stop that, I said firmly. She kept smiling. I kept sinking. I tried to fight it. I tapped into her mind. I commanded her to stop. She didn't listen. I focused more and more. She still didn't listen. I sank faster and faster. Natalia! I shouted. Eris's eyes widened. She kept grinning. My boss didn't turn up. That never happened. Normally, whenever I shouted her name, she came running to help me. She wasn't here. I am a superhero of mischief and chaos and confusion, Eris Jr. said. Your friends think they are with you, having dinner and talking with them. They don't know you are with me. My eyes widened. That was flat out impossible. I didn't want to know why Eris Jr. had created a body double of me, but it was clearly real, and I was in danger. Why? I asked. Eris stood up and wrapped her hands round my throat. I want to know about the rogue god. I could only smile as she was touching me. My influencing and analysis superpowers worked in a lot of very fun ways. I could analyze someone if they were speaking or touching, or merely looking at me. I was that good, and Eris Jr. was that stupid. Her mind was interesting, and rather like a playground. But I knew her mind was more akin to a rose garden, something beautiful with deadly spikes, rather than a playground to read and study and enjoy. Whoever had helped her out with all this mind work had clearly wanted me to read her mind probably, and wanted me to mentally injure myself in the process. I pulled straight out of her mind. Yet that mindscaping and forcing her mind to work in such specific ways, so that it would be dangerous for me, took some extreme skill. Again, no superhero could do that sort of work, only a god or goddess could. Do you know who the rogue god is? Eris Jr. asked. I do. I seriously doubted that for some reason. After all, she was a superhero of mischief. Do you want me to tell you? She asked. She whipped out a knife, pressing it against my nose. I could tell you, but then I'll have to kill you. She was bat-crap crazy, this woman. Then I realized something very important about this entire thing. Wait, you have a body double of me, I said. She took her hands off my throat, came in front of me and nodded. And that would require a mental connection between me and the body double, correct? She frowned. I was right. You stupid idiot, I said. You might be clever in your mischief, but the mind and human behavior is my domain. I closed my eyes and really focused on myself. I felt my superpowers coursing through my mind, and I found it. I found a very large shadowy ball in my mind that was never meant to be there. I had no doubt that shadowy ball was connected to the body double with my friends. Fuck you bitches. I shouted into the shadowy ball, hoping my body double would say that to my friends. And the one thing I never did to my friends was insult them. Eris Jr. jumped me. My hands and feet were still sunk in the beanbag. They couldn't move. Eris threw me to the ground. My wrists and ankles snapped. I screamed in agony. Crippling pain filled me. Eris Jr. smashed her fists into me. Again. And again. My nose broke. Golden fire shot into Eris Jr. throwing her against the wall. A few moments later, a stunningly sexy woman with a long golden dress, golden glowing hair, and the most beautiful face I have ever seen stepped over me. Natalia, goddess of counseling, therapy, and psychology, blasted Eris Jr. with another fireball. My pain grew in intensity. I collapsed into unconsciousness. A few hours later, I woke up on my wonderfully soft and cool sofa in my therapist room, staring up at my bright white ceiling. As much as I wanted to move, I knew I couldn't just yet. I still felt a little weak after the attack. Thankfully, my wrists and ankles were perfectly healed, fixed, and felt as good as new. Believe me, I was more than pleased about that, and I just knew that Natalia was behind it. The air smelt amazing, of hints of mint, pine, and other refreshing scents that I couldn't quite identify. I immediately knew why Eris Jr. had requested the strange scents of lavender, grapefruit, and passion fruit earlier. Because according to superhero folklore, they increase the powers of mischief superheroes. I doubted it, but maybe I should reconsider that opinion. "You okay?" I heard a man say. I slowly forced myself up, and I sat carefully on my sofa, and truly smiled as I saw my best friends were all around me. Natalia was still glowing and beautiful as always. Then my fellow superheroes and employees Jack and Aiden were there too. It was so good to see them. "What happened?" I asked weakly. Natalia smiled. "You swore at us. We knew something was wrong, so I teleported here and found Eris." I only frowned at her name. "I think she's working with the rogue god." Natalia nodded. "She has been imprisoned and interrogated for her crimes. She will never see the light of day again, but I believe I am one step closer to finding out who is behind this." "Thank God." "Goddess," I said. We laughed and Natalia kissed me on the head. I absolutely loved her power, chemistry, and electricity flow between us. Then she disappeared. Me, Jack, and Aiden sat in silence as I just hated to imagine that this rogue god now had superheroes being corrupted and falling to his side. I hated that idea. Because Eris Jr. had really proved a point. In all honesty, she had clearly been struggling with herself, and that's why she had been so easy for a god to bend her to his will, since Eris Jr. was really only a puppet. I didn't know exactly whatever mindscaping or suggestions this rogue god added to her, but I had a very good sense he had a few extra commands. Believe me, no superhero would have attacked another without being commanded to. It just wasn't how the world worked. So I actually had little doubt that Eris Jr. had died in some fashion, been replaced with an alternative one, and that was the struggle we were all facing. How the hell did a superhero fall to the evil of the rogue god? As much as I wanted to find out, that was certainly tomorrow's problem, so I simply got up and grabbed my two best friends. "Fancy a real dinner with me?" I asked. Jack smiled. "You gonna swear at us again?" I just playfully hit them both, as we teleported away. "You know I don't swear, you little shits."
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the internet engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.